Alright guys, let's end this by ranking all epic accessories. That's everything left that we had to rank. If you want to see all the other videos, I'm going to link them down below in the comment section. So once again, this is my personal opinion. There is no facts here. If you disagree somewhere, it's perfectly fine. So without any further ado, let's begin with the wrestling buff. Now this piece, it's not this one actually, let's go back. So it gives unblockable chance, and that's accessory, that's great. Also 100% chance to gain luck. It also gives a resurrection to Jax, and that works even at Fusion 0. Not only Jax resurrects, but he also has increased damage. And 50% chance critical hit or basic attacks deal additional 1% max scale damage and inevitably drains 10% of the opponent max power. Now this piece is godly, not going to lie. There is only one drawback with this piece, and it's the fact that the last effect unfortunately doesn't really work with the weak point attacks, or at least when I tested it, it didn't really snare with weak point attacks. Everything else is perfect. Seriously, it works at Fusion 0, great, especially for Jax, so basically great everywhere. The Weather Warfare is exceptional, guys. Another S tier, basically, piece. The only problem with the Weather Warfare is that it's not very good at low fusion, so you need to make sure that it's maxed out, and then it becomes arguably the best piece in the game. It doesn't work just for Sub-Zeros, it works more or less for any character. It freezes on attack, which is incredible. Make sure that enemy remains frozen for up to 4 successful basic hits, that's crazy. And 100% chance to apply Frostbite when freezing an opponent. So, I mean, what else can you possibly want? It's one of the very best pieces in the game. The next one though, the Cinder Ring. I don't know how great the Cinder Ring is. Look at this. It reduces the critical hit chance reduction, gives you resistance to poison and bleed, gives you resistance to slow and stun, and you can copy buffs. So, I think that I would place it here as a top tier B. The copying buff thing is great, but I would prefer that those buffs to be stolen, not copied. It doesn't work against bosses, which is unfortunate, and it gives resistances. So it's a decent piece of equipment even after all these years, but I wouldn't really place it as an A. The Shang Tsung Stone is a C or even a D. It's not really great piece of equipment, guys, and it hurts me because once upon a time it was a very good piece of equipment. Let me show this piece to you. It reduces the power cost on special attacks and gives only 30% recovery boost, which is super bad for an epic. Here 30% is nothing, it has to be buffed. And when a user defeats a character, the entire opponent team loses 30% of their current health. So this is only good for Factional Wars, which in my opinion is the worst game mode at the moment. More or less, when it comes to rewards, it is by far the worst. The Restless Ninja figure, guys, is an A. It is not a bad piece, not at all. In my opinion, it's one of the very best pieces. It works in Fusion 0 and everything. The problem I have with that piece is, look at the effect. The resistance to all the buffs is absolutely busted with Curse or Snare. Easy to do. The problem I have with this counter-attacking thing, I hate it. Even if I use it, I hate it. Even if the enemy character who has Scorpion use it, I hate it as well. And after 20 successful basic attacks, the next successful special attack will inevitably be critical. It's just lame, it's super bad. So, yeah, good at Fusion 0, but once the Fusion progresses, it's not really exceptional. However, the Psych Bomb, I'm going to give it an A+ right off the bat. I believe it's super useful piece of equipment. Look at this. For one thing, it gives you a chance to apply Crip on combo enders, which is crazy. On tagging, you're basically tossing the Psych Bomb, you have a chance to apply stun, and gain power steal basic attacks against crippled opponents. So this piece, you can just forget about the damage and everything, but it makes sure that the enemies that have slow tagging animation or something are fine, because you tag in, the Psych Bomb hits the enemy and you have time to start doing whatever you want to do. The Noble Dainty Gesture is a godlike for Kitana. Let's be real, it's godlike for Kitana. For everybody else, it is between A and A+. I'm going to put it as an A, because I believe there are better alternatives to that piece, even though it is a great piece. It is probably one of the best pieces you can give to Kitana. Look at the thing, 50% critical hit chance boost, excellent. 50% special attack damage boost against opponents affected by any debuff, great. For each active debuff on the opponent, the user's special attack power cost reduced by 10%. This is the underwhelming part. And the underwhelming part is the fact that it's capped. Why 50? Why not at least 70? Why not 80? It is the ultimate ability that you unlock on an epic card. It will take, I don't know, free-to-play players years to max this piece. So this effect is kind of busted in a bad meaning. Here though, look at this Kitana, every 5 wound stacks, basically the more she crits, the more stacks applies, and the more negative effects she applies, and once she does special attack, she actually explodes them, gaining shield in the process. So it's really good equipment, not going to lie, one of the very best equipments in the game. I wouldn't say that it's godlike though. So we have the Jinsei hat, which is godlike. This piece is great on every single character, seriously on every single character. It works at Fusion 0, however at Fusion 10 it is busted. Look at this, 50% critical hit chance boost, 20% chance to apply weaken, shield break, or curse on a critical hit. And the beautiful thing is that it doesn't matter what critical hit it is. So characters such as Classic Shank, such as Edenian Beltrain that can deal damage while being tagged out, can also apply those effects. That's super cool. And on top of everything, once per match you can avoid that by tagging out, gaining 1000% recovery in the process. And this bypasses, once again, this bypasses the death mark. Incredible. Frost Orb, another S type of equipment. Now, the thing is, Frost Orb, unlike the Jinsei hat, I wouldn't say it's that busted once maxed out. However, it has exceptional value at Fusion 0. Once you max it out, it's great, but it has very good value at Fusion 0. Which is the only reason why I'm going to put it as an S. The 15% reduced power cost on special attacks is not that great. The immunity to Frostbite and Stun is super good. However, the thing that you can more or less cheat that, let's go that way, at Fusion 0, so just unlock that piece and it starts working. It's super cool. This is the reason why I'm going to put it as an S. It is simply great. Then we have the Edenian bracelets, guys. This one is difficult. This one is difficult. Let's take a look at it together. 40% power generation boost. Basically, the more bars of power you get, there is a chance that you're going to apply blind to the enemy. That is just okay. Jade automatically does something like Jinsei hat and apply Team Blades, great. And 30% chance to do Fatal Blow instead of special attack. I think that this one is an A+. An A+. Yes, I believe it's an A+. It is a great piece of equipment. You know what, the Frost Orb, I don't know, I'm going to put it as an A+ as well. I just believe that the immunity to stun and the 15% power cost, not that great compared to the things you get from the other pieces. So I'm going to put it as an A+. I'm going to change my mind. So the Edenian bracelet, again an A+. Not a bad piece of equipment, not at all. So let's see which is the next one. This is the Dynasty Mask of Madness. Again, a difficult one, guys. A very difficult one to judge. However, I'll do my best to be objective. 40% resistance to all debuffs, every single character needs that. Power Gen, Weaken, Shield Break effect applied to the point, and 35% more effective. 30% chance to perform special one with 0 power cost. I believe this one is actually, once again description, I believe this one is an easy S. A really good piece of equipment. Really good one. The next one though is the Demon Bat. How do I rank the Demon Bat? It gives 30% power generation boost, has a bat that spawns and hits the enemy and apply bleed, and user heals from that bleed. I'm not really a huge fan, so I'm going to put it as an A. This is just an okay piece of equipment. I don't think it belongs here, but yeah, an A. Damnation Visage though, the Damnation Visage. I recently made a video calling this piece of equipment trash. A power generation boost, 100% chance to gain strengthen, and 75% chance to apply team power drain. I don't know what to do. There's so many epic pieces give power generation, and the strengthen is not really. I'm not a fan of this piece. I'm sorry. I'm going to place it as a B. So it's decent. That's the best way I can describe it. It's just decent. However, the next piece though, Ceremonial Pipe, it is absolutely busted. It works at Fusion 0, it's exceptional. You gain 100% damage boost, which basically also works for dots. Whenever an opponent tries to apply positive combat effect, there is a 100% chance to steal it. So not copy it, you steal it, and that's pretty cool. And 30% chance to apply random buff to the user on combo end. And the random buff is just okay, because the random buff can be something completely useless, like strength. But yeah, anyways, this is an easy S, one of the very best pieces in the game. Really good. The Caro Guidance though, the Caro Guidance, guys, is goes right here. Sorry about that. The Caro Guidance, guys, goes right here. Trash. Super bad. The Bloody Voodoo Dough. Where should I rank the Bloody Voodoo Dough? 15% reduced power cost, no special attacks. 10% damage boost, faction wars only. Horrible. 25% power generation boost. I believe it goes here, C. Very, very outdated piece of equipment. I would rather have the Cinder Ring, to be honest with you. There's so many other pieces that can give you power generation. So yeah, I haven't used that piece for a while. The Blazes Life Force. Oh, this was one of the very best pieces once upon a time. 100% chance to apply fire to the active enemy at the start of the match when equipped on a starting character. Fire damage boost. 100% chance to power drain the active enemy at the start. I think that this one is again a C. Very situational. You can use it in fire teams, and more or less that's it. There are better equipment to give your starting character than this one. So yeah, I'm going to put it as a C. Sorry about that. The next piece is the Acid Dragon Deadly Vial. Let's see, 20% power generation boost, super low. 70% chance to gain 77% max power for all teammates after the user successfully applies poison or bleed to the opponent. And then power drain applied to the owner is reflected onto the opponent and is turned into power steel that grants 50% of draining power. B. Like, yeah, it is just okay. I've seen it working in certain let's say situations, but yeah, not a great one. The Misfortune Teller, though, is a great piece of equipment because look at this: 90% chance to apply Curse on Special 1 and 62% critical hit chance against enemies affected by Curse. Now, the thing that you unlock Fusion 10 is bad. It is just designed for bosses, let's be real. However, I think that this one deserves to be an A+. Super, super cool piece of equipment. Just for Special 1 spammers, insane. And more or less, you can just completely forget the last part. Yeah. Shintai of North, 92% chance to apply Team Frostbite on Special Attack 2. If the opponent already has Frostbite, it gives you Shield. 80% chance to gain Shield upon applying Frostbite to Freeze, yep. And 1 bar of power on target in the start of the match. This one is super cool. I mean, it's just one of the very best pieces for Special 2 spammers, so I have to do it. I mean, every single one of the attributes is great. Every single one of the attributes is great to this piece, so yeah. Midnight Stalker Curse. You vampire damage on basic attacks, you gain this spell every 15 seconds. Jason, extremely good for Jason. Once below 25% health, he becomes immortal. And for 2 vampire hits from this equipment, the user gains speed for 2 seconds. I believe this one is an A. Now, don't get me wrong, for Jason, it is an S. But generally speaking, I think it falls in the same ranking as Kitana one, as an A. So, yeah. An A. Let's safely say that it's an A. The next piece is the Stunned Bodies. So what the Stunned Bodies do, it's a very defensive piece of equipment. Again, you can vampire on basic attacks. For any block breaker, there is a 70% chance to apply the buff to the opponent for 10 seconds. That's not bad thing at all. Then there is a chance that instead of you doing damage to Johnny Cage, a stun double attacks and you do damage to the stun double. And then you have shield. Where should I place this thing? I believe again A+. It's a really, really good piece of equipment. Very defensive piece of equipment. So yeah, A+. The next one is the Smuggler's Luck. 39% chance to gain luck after Special Attack 1. Special Attack 1 deals 30% more damage after each stack up to 5 times, alright, and 10% chance to gain Dispel after a successful critical hit. This one will go here as B. I'm not a fan of this piece. I don't think it's one of the very best pieces in the game, so I don't really care about it, to be honest with you. Wailing Spirit. On target, power drain 0.8 bars of power. 44% chance to steal 50% of the enemy power at the start of the match when equipped to the starting character, and steal 50% of power drained on attack. I believe again another A or A+. I would put it as an A. I don't have a lot of experience with that piece, so I cannot really definitely say whether it's an A or an A+, but definitely in that range. Alright, the next one is difficult. The next one is really difficult to judge. 32% basic attack unblockable chance, 26% chance to increase speed by 1% on block breaker attack. Kenshi gets this specific 6th sense buff that makes sure he can kill Assassin Jade and Jason. They cannot evade and gain 2 bars of power at the start of the match or at the first user attack and 80% resistance to all debuffs for the first 30 seconds. I reckon this one is A+ at least once maxed out, but I don't have it maxed out, I cannot say. In my opinion, it should rank there. It's super useful piece of equipment. Basically can work more or less any character, not only Kenshi. So, the next one is the Emerald Haze. Again, unblockable chance, apply cripple on opponent tagging for 6 seconds, that's very useful. Before tagging out, Jade has a 48% chance to perform an unblockable tag that removes all opponent buffs and reset timer on all debuffs and dots applied to the opponent. Okay. Each time the opponent tries to apply the buff to the user, there's 65% chance the buff will be resisted and bleed or poison is applied to the enemy. So this gives you 65% resistance to all the buffs. I would only place an equipment as an S if I can really test all the attributes, or at least the attributes that I see at Fusion 10 is something that I can imagine. This one I'll put it as an A+. It's really great piece of equipment on paper, but again I need to test so I can say completely how great it is. And the last one is the Bionic Skeleton. 30% chance to apply one of the following debuffs for 5 seconds on combo ender. Slow Snare Curse. It's for 5 seconds, come on. 1% special attack power cost reduction for each buff and debuff applied from the opponent, maximum 30 from this equipment, I'm sorry. 70% chance to charge Bionic Overlord on combo enders. The problem is that all those effects just last for 5 seconds. I'm going to place it as an A. More or less, that's it. Alright guys, please let me know whether you agree or whether you disagree with me. Once again, probably a lot of people will disagree with the Blaze. Okay, let's put the Bloody Voodoo though at B. At least it gives power generation and reduction of special attacks. And this will be enough to give it a B. It's not really a horrible piece of equipment. See you next time guys and have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.
Perfect.